I'm gonna let you in on the best Christmas dessert secret that my grandma on my mom's side gave to me. My grandmother didn't really do recipes. It was a dab of this or a dab of that, but here are the ingredients that you will need. They're pretty simple, and it's actually a pretty simple recipe for a Christmas dessert called Cranberry Steamed Pudding. You can make cranberry steamed pudding ahead of time and put it in the freezer individually wrapped, or you can make it the day before or even the morning of Christmas, but don't make the sauce until you are actually ready to have it. Now I'm going to double today's recipe because I want to have a little bit for my son and I now, and then I will be taking the rest of it to the big family event on Christmas Day. In the recipe in the description box below, I will put the regular recipe, but just know that I am doubling the recipe today. So to double the recipe, I need a cup of molasses, 4 scant teaspoons of baking soda, a cup of hot water, two pinches of salt, 3 cups of flour, you can see the baking soda fluffing up, and I need 3 cups of cranberries. Now you can use fresh cranberries that have been rinsed, but I'm going to use my special fermented cranberries, which I will include the recipe for in the description box below and up above right now. These have been honey fermented for, oh my gosh, it's probably, this batch has probably been fermenting for a month and a half, 2 months now. So I'm going to use these up. We had these at Thanksgiving. They were so good, and they've been in the refrigerator since. I'm just going to get them out of the honey and orange juice fermenting liquid. I'm not going to throw this liquid out. I might find a use for it, maybe in cordials or something. Making sure not to get any of the ginger or orange peels, just cranberries. That's only about half of what I need, so I'm going to have to get into my jar that's fermenting right now. I don't have any fresh cranberries in the fridge, so I'm gonna have to open this. This is my second ferment that's only been in here since the 27th of November. It's the 11th of December, so I've got only 2 weeks, but these should be fermented enough to use, so we'll get these in here. Another 1.5 cups to make my 3 cups total. Oh my, they smell so good. I want to taste the difference between this one, fresher, tart, good, and the other ones that have been fermenting for a month and a half now. Oh my gosh, so much sweeter. Yeah, so 2 weeks is enough, but a month would be better. But there's our cranberries now. I'm just going to fold those in. To the batter, so that there's some in every bite. And to fold batter, you start in the middle and then stir out so that you're getting it incorporated throughout. These are those great big tomato cans. What you need to do is grease them, and then I put a circle of parchment on the bottom as well to help release them. So I'll get some parchment here. Trace the circle. Shape of the can, but know that you need to cut it smaller so that it fits down in there. So I'm going to cut it another 1/8 inch smaller so that it fits in the bottom flat. It's okay if it doesn't go snug right up to the edge. You just want to help release the puddings from the can. So there's one. Doesn't have to be perfect, just done. Done is better than perfect. Okay, there's the other can. Now I'm also using these rectangular glass dishes. I don't think I'm going to worry about parchment with those because I should be able to stick a knife down there if I need to. Let's get these cans greased very well. All the way on the bottom, up the sides, all the way to the top. And then I'm also going to grease the top of this. I don't need to grease the bottom because the bottom is going to come in contact. I'm going to grease the top of that parchment as well. So I've greased the can and put a greased piece of parchment in there. Let's do this one. Set that in there so that can is ready. Now let's grease my 2 rectangular pans. Now what we need to do is put our batter 1/2 to 2/3 full in each container. Need to leave some space for expansion because it's going to rise as it bakes. I want the cans to be the nicest because these are for sure the ones I'm taking to Christmas dinner at my sister's this year. And then this little one is probably just going to be the one that I keep at home here for my son and I. 3 containers. Loosely cover the cans and other container with greased foil. So that when it rises, it doesn't stick. My oven is preheating to 350 degrees. I'm going to put hot water in the bottom of this baking pan, enough that it won't evaporate completely for an hour, but that it won't be something I spill. You can see that I have canning lids in here, and that is to get the puddings elevated off the water. So I'm going to put 1 can on each ring, and then these 3 will hold the flat pan. This needs to go in the 350 degree oven for about an hour. We'll test it with a toothpick to make sure when it's done, and when it's done we'll make the sauce. Toothpick comes out clean. They are all ready. They just need to cool a little bit. Pretty. I'm going to turn these upside down so that they can release from the can. The steam will rise up to the bottom of the can since I'm inverting them, and will allow them to release. It only took about 30 seconds for the glass pan to release. It just fell. So let's see if... Oh yeah. I'm going to peel the parchment off. Very nice. And I expect that this one, oh that's hot, is also ready. Peel the parchment off. There we go. That's how they look. Beautiful. But when it comes time to serving, you're going to slice them into about 1/2 inch slices all the way up. Some people may only want a 1/2 moon slice because they are very rich. Depends on your sweet tooth. This one is just right for the 2 of us, and I'll slice those into rectangles. So we'll let those cool. For the warm butter sauce, I'm going to do, just because it's my son and I, we're just taste testing to show you how to make the sauce and what it looks like when the dessert is complete. I'm going to do half of a recipe. Like I said, the recipe for everything will be in the description box below. I doubled the actual pudding recipe, and that's going in the freezer. I'll make sauce at the family event last minute. For now, I'm just going to make a half of a recipe for the two of us. So that's a half a cup of sugar, a quarter cup of butter, a quarter cup of heavy cream, and about a half a teaspoon of vanilla. Turn it on low. Don't want to scorch it, but I need to get everything melted. You don't want to boil it, just make sure that everything is incorporated and simmering. Not even really simmering, you just don't want it to boil it at all because of the dairy. Get all that butter melted in there and get the sugar dissolved. See how thick and smooth it is. Those are going to cool to go in the freezer. I cannot wait to try this that I'm keeping here at the house for my son and I. So we'll cut off about a ½ inch slice. It looks like a small piece, but trust me, it's enough. It's very rich. Put some of the hot butter sauce on it. I actually recommend serving it in a bowl. Then the sauce doesn't get all over the place, especially at a holiday event where you probably aren't all able to sit at a table. If there's enough of you and you're sitting in the living room on a couch or in a chair somewhere else, you don't want anybody spilling. So I'm just going to use my spoon to make sure I get a little sauce in each bite. I'll bet this is way hot, but I have to try it. Oh my god. That is so good, you guys. So good. This is Christmas. Thanks, Grandma. The cranberry steamed puddings are completely cooled now. So what we want to do is wrap them in plastic and then put them into bags in the freezer until Christmas Day. The first little rectangular one I'm going to keep here at the house for my son and I. And then I'm going to individually wrap each of these cylinders. They just turned out beautiful. Get them wrapped up real tight. That one, and then we'll do the other one. Both of these can go in the same freezer bag. And those will stay in the freezer for a couple weeks. Now, when I go to the family gathering, I will put the sauce ingredients in another Ziploc, a gallon Ziploc bag. I'll put my sugar, I'll drop the vanilla straight into the sugar. I'll put my butter straight in that bag with the sugar, and I'll put that in my heavy gauge stainless steel pan that I heated in with a big spoon or a ladle that I can stir it with and serve it with. And then I'll just take a container of heavy cream with me so that I have all the ingredients. All I have to do is dump that bag of sugar, vanilla, butter into the pan and then add the cream, heat it up. These will be thawed the night before. We'll just slice them up, put them into bowls, and put the sauce over and get them served for dessert. It's very easy and very good. Your family will be asking you every year if you'll be taking cranberry steamed pudding for the holidays because they will love it. Watch this video while you're baking, wrapping presents, or relaxing with your family during the holidays.